For as long as I remember, I've had a longing for home that I can't quite fully define. And I know I'm not alone in this feeling. Many North Americans are increasingly lonely. We're no longer developing the same sense of place our grandparents did, even half a century ago. This trend is associated with many factors, including technological changes, societal shifts. Some people, myself included, think this feeling is also mystical, relating to our ancestors or even past lives. But instead of intellectualizing it, for me, and perhaps you, this was a lived experience. I grew up in a town where everything was beautiful, from the American dream's perspective, at least, but I never felt quite at home. It's a strange feeling, especially if you're someone who did grow up with a lot of things that should make you feel like you have a home.
The next station is Castle Frank.
A subtle ache that penetrated everything, a longing for something I couldn't fully understand. I'm not trying to say that I didn't have a home. I'm just saying that the home I was given, I didn't feel like I was a match to it. And I think this is a common experience for young people these days. The world has changed and the American dream isn't the same as it once was. And we can't help but wonder if there's something else out there that's better, or at least different. This longing compelled me to travel the world. I had this belief that maybe home existed out there somewhere outside myself, and I needed to go find it. Somewhere the person I wanted to be could thrive, but I didn't know what that was or where I should go. As I traveled to many different places, towns, communities, homesteads, eco-villages, I heard this story many times from nomads on the road. They didn't quite fit in with where they were from, so they went somewhere new to try and find a place where they belong, trying desperately to strike a balance between running away and running towards. And sometimes they succeeded, but other times they failed. My own fate was yet to be determined. I had just finished backpacking for about 4 months. I was too stubborn to admit it, but my search wasn't really working. I needed my approach to change, and this time it was life's turn to intervene for me. You might remember from last week's vlog, but on my travels I met a Tibetan Buddhist Lama who was hosting a silent meditation retreat close to Chirapo, a mountainous region of Costa Rica I had never heard of and certainly did not plan on going to visit. I didn't know it at the time, but this region of the world would completely change me from the inside out. As most of you know by now, I decided to go on this meditation retreat in the mountains, and on the way, I met Oriana. Oriana was a Costa Rican local. I met her while hitchhiking. Believe it or not, she was my driver and we became fast friends. She invited me to stay with her in her little town in the Costa Rican mountains. And I didn't have anything planned, so I said yes. Good morning from a small town close to Chirapo in Costa Rica. It's the day after the silent meditation retreat. I stayed the night with a new friend. My new friend has a property beside a waterfall. Like, it's this little tiny house and everything's so cute. I want to show you the view outside. I was in awe of this place's energy. It was so calm and so quiet.
Thank you for letting me stay in your beautiful home.
So sweet. So, you're so welcome.
As we ate our food, she looked out at this little road next to us and she said, "There's no place like Chirapo in the world. It's my home." And at the time, that statement kind of surprised me because, yeah, the town was nice. Sure, it was beautiful, but like, what? There's no place like this in the world? I was really kind of confused. And I think I judged her a little bit for it. On the side of a mountain, next to a river, was this home that was deep inside her core. She had left, she had traveled, and still felt this way about this tiny town in the middle of nowhere. I was also really curious by her mindset and how she could feel so much fulfillment there. So I stayed with Oriana for a few days in the mountains, understanding her world.
You're so beautiful!
Immediately, I noticed how integrated the Chirapo community was with the surrounding nature. Most locals live really close to the roaring Chirapo River, cold, wild, and as I was soon to find out, addictive to spend time beside.
Wow. I'm blown away! It's so beautiful!
And I started to connect with the land on a deeper level as well. I went for cold plunges in the river every day. The mountains reminded me of the place my ancestors lived in Greece. There was just this really beautiful integration with community and nature. I don't think I've ever been this close to a butterfly. And everywhere you walked, there were like goats and cows and horses.
Hi. Hello.
But in the early days, I still wasn't convinced about why Chirapó could be more special than everywhere else. After all, there's beautiful nature all over the world. And as for the spattered little towns in the region, the infrastructure was pretty bare bones. There wasn't much there. A few restaurants, a cheesemaker, a baker. If you needed anything of substance, you had to go one town over to a small general store or 30 minutes back down the mountain to get anything else, including a doctor. But what they lacked in infrastructure, they gained in community. Rich, multi-generational families and friendships that lasted since childhood. And because of Oriana's kindness and generosity, I got to see and feel what being a part of a system like this felt like. At any given moment, people could be walking in and out of her house, neighbors, her mom. Like, her house wasn't really her house. It was kind of like a communal space. Everyone knew each other and they were so close-knit.
It's 6 in the morning. We woke up to go see the Chirapó Marathon. It's one of the biggest community events in the area.
This sense of closeness with your community coming from a North American suburb was so foreign to me.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
I had a sense of community at home, but it's very different than going somewhere outside of North America and just seeing how close everyone is. It's not an individualist mindset, it's a collective mindset. And that was made possible because everyone lived so close to each other. There was also a very different sense of boundaries, I noticed. Like, you could just walk in uninvited, whereas where I'm from in North America, that kind of constant sense of togetherness and hospitality has been lost. It became very clear to me that so much of her fulfillment came from relationship structures that are just foreign to North America these days, but are usually something our grandparents' generation knew well. And I got to observe it all and realize that home was a little bit less about the place itself than I thought, and more about cultivating a sense of belonging. But how does that happen?
Another morning and another river dip.
Can you cultivate belonging anywhere? It's one thing if you're given that experience from birth in your community and your ancestral homeland, but what about people that don't feel that sense of belonging based on where they're from? I didn't want to just find a place anymore. I was realizing that what I was looking for was to anchor into this deeper sense of belonging. I'm feeling really ungrounded right now. Should I stay or should I go? Sometimes you don't really know what's gonna happen next.